for group 4. Today, we are going to teach you about the adjective clause.
Hello, I'm Fred. I am Johnson. I am Samson. I am Sujian.
Hey.
Hey, hello guys. Before starting the lesson, I will let you all guys know what is the adjective clause. Actually, adjective clause is simply a group of words with a subject, and a word provides a description to that sentence. Normally, adjective clause begins with a pronoun such as who, whom, which, or that. It also begins with a whose, when, and where. Adjective clause also is a dependent clause. Adjective clause can combine two sentences in one sentence. First example, Joseph is a man. He plays hard. Okay, so now we combine these two sentences in one sentence. That is, Joseph is a man who plays hard. Okay, another example is, second example, Sujian is busy. Joseph loves him so much. Okay, we can combine these two sentences in one sentence. That is, Sujian who Joseph loves him so much is busy. Okay, just now I said adjective clause is a dependent clause. How to say adjective clause is a dependent clause? Actually, adjective clause must be modified with some pronoun or noun in the main clause. Let me show some example. First example, because whose over space alone becomes alone. Okay, perfect. Yeah. It's because who is an introvert. Who is an introvert is an adjective clause. It cannot be formed without any support or pronoun or noun. It must be have a pronoun or noun, so it can be formed in one complete sentence. So now in this sentence, which is a pronoun? Because is a pronoun. Because of this introvert is part of introvert. Okay.
To refer to people. Use whom, who, and that as the objects of verbs in adjective clauses. Whom is quite formal, usually used in a formal conversation.
Hello.
Example, Mr. Fred, whom I mentioned yesterday, is my boss. Who and that are less formal. These two are usually used in an informal conversation and writing. That is the least formal. Yo. Example, Mr. Fred was the person who I mentioned just now. Example 2. Mr. Fred was the person that I mentioned just now.
Special notes. An adjective clause must always come after the nouns that they modify. In this case, man is the noun. Wearing bikini is modifying the man. So the adjective clause must come after the man. So in this case, this is wrong. So the correct one must be a man who was wearing bikini spoke to us. Besides that, don't ever use two subjects in an adjective clause. Let's see this sentence. Man is one of the subjects and he also another subject. So in this sentence there are two subjects. So it is wrong again. The correct one should be a man who was wearing bikini spoke to us.
To refer to things, we use which and that as the objects of verbs in adjective clauses. Which is more formal. Example, the test that I took was difficult. Example 2. The test that I took was difficult.
It's me again. Whose is an adjective clause that used to indicate possessions. Usually, whose is used to replace his, her, its, and their. For example, Jimmy, whose house we are renting, is a gay. Hey, 之前. Okay, just ignore it. In this sentence, this house that we are renting belongs to Jimmy. And the other example is Fred's car whose color is blue. Is it weird? So weird? Yeah, I think so. So try to avoid this. Just make it simple. Fred has a blue car. But this, if you want to use this, it is also correct. And lastly, don't ever try to omit whose. It can't be omitted.
Okay. In this section, I'm going to discuss two adjective clause which are when and where. And hopefully, you will be able to learn the idea on how to construct an adjective clause after you enjoy this video. So usually, we are taught in our primary school, we are taught to use where with the place words and when with the time words. But then this perception is not completely correct. It's only true under certain conditions. You can look at this example, historic example. I remember the time when was a lot of fun. You want to visit a place where it's celebrating the Pesta Angbao. Do you think that these sentences are correct? No, they are incorrect. Okay, so what are the correct answer for these two sentences? The grammar used are wrong. We should use I remember the time that was a lot of fun. We want to visit a place that is celebrating the Pesta Angbao. So now you have the question, why? Is that everything that we learned in the past wrong? No, they are correct, but there's only a part of the story. You haven't learned the whole idea of the grammar or the adjective clause where and when. I will explain the misconception later on. Back to our topic. If the noun is concerning about place, suitable relative pronouns that we can use are where, which, or that. Similarly to time. If our noun is concerning about time, suitable relative pronouns are when, which, or that. So you can look at the following examples. This is the place where my lessons are conducted. Where my lessons are conducted is the adjective clause, in which the clause is indicated by the term where, used to describe the noun place. In addition to that, we can also use adjective clause in the middle of the sentence. For example, the place where I study is excellent. where I study is an adjective clause which functions as an additional information. We can even use the term that instead of where. For example, the place that I study is excellent. We even have an option to omit the term where and that to make the sentence becomes the place I study is excellent. So those rule applies to the adjective clause where can also be applied to the adjective clause when. For example, I shall remember the day when we meet. The adjective clause here is the when we meet, in which the clause is indicated by the term when used to describe the noun there.
Okay guys, let us continue our lesson. Now I'm going to teach about identifying and non-identifying. For non-identifying, it is also an adjective clause, but it does not distinguish one person or thing from another, but instead, it gives us the added information. Sounds difficult, right? So let us go through the examples. Okay guys, here are the examples. Example A and example B. Both these sentences look similar, but actually they got a difference. The only difference is just the punctuation. For example B, they got a comma. For example A, without a comma. Okay, let me explain to you further. For example A, my brother who lives in New York has a baby. Without a comma, it means that maybe I got more than one brother, and we can use the adjective clause to identify my brother's information. Okay? For example B, my brother with a comma who lives in New York has a baby. It shows that I myself actually has only one brother. Okay? The behind this one is just the added information about my brother.